March is a well-known month for drinking holidays, so we offer a tavern-themed crate this month. Taverns are the best place for adventurers to get the scoop on the local area, find new quests, and settle in for some rest and relaxation. The items in this crate revolve around some of our favorite Halcyon establishments. Welcome back, friends and scoundrels. You can see we got a little bit different setup here. It's boring and bland, I know. But, kind of segues into the next point. We moved, which is why we didn't have a box last month. Just online doing some things, happened to see a house that fit mostly perfectly and fit in our budget, so we jumped on it. So that's why we didn't do last month's box, Carnage at the Crossroads. About last month's box, it was a pretty decent box. Had the fire giant miniature. My only real quip that I had with that box was Wayne's been building this campaign a little bit with the first few adventures in Halcyon, and we go level 3, some of the random ones were level 5, and now all of a sudden we're level 9 and we don't have a story arc building anymore. And my premise from coming at this with the perspective of a DM that doesn't have a whole lot of time who, alright, there's an adventure in a box for me, you kind of got away from that dungeon crate, and that's really my only quip with it. If we're going to do the random thing, that's fine. The epic encounters, if that's something that you're going to continue doing, well, we'll see that here in a sec, but spoiler alert. If you're gonna do the random ones, having the random encounters so that we have something to kind of build around is kind of okay. But again, from the perspective of a DM who doesn't have a whole lot of time to prep anything, to build their own story, to just make that kind of a leap, just kind of makes it difficult. Yeah, the next box is supposed to be another adventure in Halcyon. This one-off thing is okay. I like that. It's nice having world-building things with the epic encounters. But I'm starting to get a little ahead of myself, so let's look at this month's box. We are in March, right? March. Yeah, we're doing the March box. Tavern Builder was this month's theme, so let's take a look at it. Epic Encounters Tavern Builder by Dungeon Crate. Taverns can be a brief part of a campaign or become a central meeting hub, a sort of base of operations for some adventuring parties. This Tavern Builder is part of our Epic Encounters series and makes it easy for any dungeon master to create a detailed tavern on the fly. We've got this nifty little glass here, from Advanced Deployment. Etched Steel Tavern Logo Pint Glass from Advanced Deployment. In our world of Halcyon, there are many taverns. These steel pint glasses are etched with one of the 4 Halcyon Tavern logos designed by Dungeon Noodles. Which one are you gonna get? Couple Reaper miniatures. We've got Bartender. Just fall over. Bartender Mini. We had to hire a bartender if we were going to have a tavern theme. This guy is from the Reaper Bones series and is easily painted. He pours a mean tankard of ale, knows all the locals, and doesn't take any guff from any strangers. Dwarven Brewer. Dwarf with Keg Mini. This Reaper Bones Mini has a full pint of character. He likes a good brew and is a featured local in our epic encounters. Got bag with some feels like coins in it. 3-piece coin bag from Rare Elements Foundry. We can't get enough coins. This means you can't get enough either. In line with our tavern theme, there must be coins to pay for your drinks, food, and lodging. Also, everyone needs a few coins to lose at the gambling tables. Our GameScience die. Single D10. Another single die to add to your collection. This is part of our GameScience series. This D10 can be used in the tavern adventure included in this box. Use a crayon, paint, or find another way to color in the numbers. Then show off your technique on the Adventurers Guild or our other social media pages. And some other dice. Pair of 444 dice from Doublesix Dice. We had a single 444 in our crate within the first year, and they were so popular we just had to bring them back. This pair is easy to roll and read. It's also much easier on the feet if you step on them. Alright, so that's the stuff we got today. Our tavern builder, not a bad idea. I like the concept of world building stuff. I know the player's handbook, and I'm sure Pathfinder has some of their own stuff. And it's nice to have somebody else's take and stuff, maybe the things that they have in their own world, to help you out a little bit. For people who, well, I consider myself creative, it doesn't always align with this kind of creativity. So for me, it is nice having it. I think having some extra scenarios in here instead of the tables would have been a little bit better, because the tables I feel are a little bit short in some areas. The tables I feel could have been left out of the actual pamphlet itself and made part of the digital crate, because there's a little bit more room to expand there. Some of them are a little bit short. A 1d4 for some things is a little bit lacking, for my personal opinion. Other than that, it's great. There's a lot of really good ideas there. There could have been some extra ideas, I think, as I said. But this is something I'm okay with them continuing on with to help people with their world building. Especially, like I said before, the building of the campaign, you still have other elements around that aren't included in the adventures. The role-playing and going to places and the in-between combat and quests and things. Those are important in the game too. That's where all the role-playing happens. So, or at least the vast majority of it. The Still Tavern logo, I like this. This is a really nice, solid piece. When I set it down, I didn't expect it to be that heavy. Not super heavy, but more than I thought it was. I like the logo. Really cool. I personally like the Shady Lady. Somebody else has a different opinion. Has their own preference. The minis, again, not a whole lot to say there. I think, although I do want to add a caveat that I think adding some tavern dressing would have been a little bit better, some tables and other things like that, because they're a lot more versatile. You can use them in different settings beyond the tavern. You know, table can just as easily go in a study or a library or a private chamber in a dungeon, rather than a bartender who you can get a lot of use of in a story element, don't get me wrong, and he can come in handy. The same with the dwarf, they can come in very handy. But they do have very specific purposes. And you know, a tavern setting, having a tavern would be nice from the crate. Coins, not a lot to say there. My personal use for some of my coins has been to mark north on the maps. That way there's reference when I'm talking about where things are. It's something that I'm working on for my own use in my own game. The D10 from GameScience. Maybe it's just us. I don't know. I'm not digging these dice. Dice are something you're supposed to be able to pull out and just use instantly, and I've had to do some kind of work on every single one of them to make them properly usable. This one's got a nice piece of flashing on it that I might actually have to file or sand down, and all along the edge where the two sides come together, there's a little bit of mold line. And it's just I know the price point on the GameScience dice is higher than the Chess X, but I don't have to do any work with the Chess X, and that's maybe my own personal preference and stuff, but dice are something that you're not supposed to work on. I get mold lines on minis, that's kind of part of it. You know, these things, especially you get Reaper and even Games Workshop and some of the more expensive ones, they outsource and make them for as cheaply as they can possibly get away with, which is fine. They're running a business and they have to make money, so that way they can grow and expand. But the mold line is part of the process of the mini, so it's fine there. It's not part of the process with dice. So we'll figure out something to do with the dice. Maybe they'll just become a setting piece for the table going into the future. Which brings us to the 444s. These are nice. I like these. I don't like traditional 4s. I don't like the way they roll. These are a lot more likely to give you an actual random outcome as opposed to hoping it bounces randomly and doesn't give you the same thing over and over again. I know that's still a possibility with these, but it's statistically a lot less likely to happen, I'm sure. I like the designs on them. They're really cool. I like the offsetting colors. There is a game in the digital crate that works in conjunction with these, so they fit instead of just being random pieces. Looks like kind of an interesting game. I don't know, we'll have to try it out maybe next game, see what happens. But these are something I'd like to have more of, Wayne. Get more of these. Or something similar. Maybe I'll jump on and buy some. I don't know if there's some extra ones available. Overall, not a terrible crate. Not one of my least favorites, that's for sure. There's a lot of really good stuff in here, lifestyle things, and again, some very usable things. So, I have my opinions about how I would have done things if I was in control, if I was doing something like this. I don't know if any of you agree with me. Let us know down in the comments. And definitely let Wayne know if I said something that, man, I hadn't thought of that. Let Wayne know. He's all about trying to make the box better. I know I've kind of harped on myself a little bit because I feel like I'm being a little bit too negative when I'm just trying to be honest and give my opinion of it. Clearly, I do get value out of this because I continue to buy it. I'm not buying it for video's sake, but just to let you know how much I'm into Dungeon Crate, we're into Dungeon Crate. We did go in for the full year for a couple of reasons. One, because we want to support it. We do find value in these things. Two, it's an extra monthly bill that we don't have to pay now. Or a monthly payment. It's not a bill, it's a payment. This is a luxury item. But it is. I do enjoy it. I do find value in it, and we do have some use for these things. And that's why I want them to get better, because I would like to continue to get as much value as possible out of them. So, that's all we've got for today. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell for your notifications, because that's how YouTube works now. If I didn't say it, thanks for watching. Check out our Facebook and Wayne's Facebook, the Adventurers Guild. Well, Dungeon Crate's Facebook, the Adventurers Guild. It's been transferred over from the trading post because things got crazy and went a different direction. And till next time, live to roll. Forget what I'm supposed to say.